Like I say, many people don't have to worry about a lot of things. I went through it. I got through it. Like I said, um, yeah, I basically took off. As far as Jimmy Carter, he did get that far, and like I said, on some far off distance planet, we ended whatever it was he thought he was or whatever. I said I tried explaining to the robot clone of him that he wasn't really a human, that he was just a robot doing instructions. He couldn't quite grasp it or whatever. There were several of him. My people did all the investigations and everything, and blah blah. And we tried explaining it to him that he just thought he was a human, but he wasn't really a human. So, anyway, though, finally I set off. I think like it was 100 million trillion billion. It lit up the whole all the space for a minute. It looked like a little supernova, but it was actually a big bomb, antimatter or some great explosive, and basically took off half the planet. It was a base or something like that, some moon or something, I don't know. Anyway. And then we hunted down the rest. His people were, like his clones or whatever, were traveling groups of 3. This is like, I don't know. It took 150 million years to track him down and kill him. He was running around like he was the president, going from base to base to base in space. I said he was using a microwave transmitter, and he would taunt the planets, saying how God's whatever was coming and blah blah blah, and then his troops would descend and kill everybody on the colony. Anyway, we tracked him down, my military forces, and like I said, my exoskeletons and my 1.5s. We were ending them, dealing with the problem. So anyway, killing him and his little clone army or whatever. JFK, well, like I say, we collected. Actually, either I collected or his clones were just handed to me, basically, and I gave them over to my exoskeletons to torture, and basically had them in feeding tubes, electrocuting them for years. I think John McCain was among the group, so as far as I know. Anyway, a few of the clones actually pulled out their feeding tubes, though. We left them just in reach, so they go. They'd pull out the feeding tubes, and then they would die of starvation in about 7 or 8 days. The exoskeletons usually put the feeding tubes back in, and they would go in front of this big old exoskeleton, black usually. Anyway, I have a little happy memory of that. For all of his horrible deeds and lying and misusing of power. Like I said, Harlem and Wolf, we found 20 or so. My Irish commandos found about 20 of them sitting inside this second story of this building. And like I said, one of my Chinese escorts was basically having sex with them or something, trying to find out information from them about what blah blah blah. And my Irish soldiers were on the outside staring in through night scopes or scopes, basically, letting me know what was going on with them. I said, Mr. Brown and Mr. Black, I believe, or basically Papa. Mr. A plague unto this world, I believe, is dying or slowly going to die of death and eventually probably be tortured. Like I said, he was kicked out of Warsaw and 3 other cities, and basically banned from all civilization. Rodney and Rick Bush at some point in time was kicked out of America and went overseas, and then eventually made it back in. I guess he likes to use the cover story that he was in Vietnam or whatever during the military. I don't really know. Like I said, I love my Jewish people, I love my Irish people, and I love all my gypsies. They are not criminals, they never were. So, I said, I am the Lord Lucifer Star. And yes, 500 deep space missions and basically whatever. Like I said, it took a little bit, but all the investigations, all the things eventually started to take their effect. It took me over 1,000 years to straighten out the civilization on Earth. I said all the deep sea. I was doing stuff with the Germans. You'd call them Jewish, I guess. Some people label them as Jewish people, but they weren't. That was Jude. Like I said, I was asking about it, and I found out about it right away. My Irish police officers, soldiers, or whatever, were very good. So were my Germans. Germanics. I said it was very funny. I actually almost, if you really knew how it went down, a lot of the people in the supposed Congress didn't know what to do with my actors, as they basically were very good liars and could slip in and out of any military fairly easily, using the proper uniforms, of course. So, anyway, like I said, White Star Lines, it took them 500 billion years. And in the end, they couldn't do it themselves, so they created robots or computers or clones to try and do it. Didn't have much effect at first. Took them a very, very, very long time. And by then I was off in space. The LSF colony ship had already launched. I believe it launched to an invading army. Aircraft in the air. But there wasn't much they could do, other than wave at it as it flew through the space. And I had aircraft of my own coming to defend it, or something like that. We did lose communication with ground control, of course, at the launch site, as there was a battle starting or something like that. I don't really know. This probably would have been before World War I. Anyway, subsequent wars and everything else, and all kinds of things, and about 1 billion years later, or 1 million years later, I came back to Earth. Like I said, this is all the information that I have. Most people regard me as just a logbook or something like that, but I'm not. I was the sum of all information and blah blah. But this is her star, Brian.